Boys, girls, in-betweeners, we're back with Mortal Kombat 11, and we're about to punch a guy in the dick.
It's Johnny Cage's specialty.
There is something really great about hearing old Johnny Cage tell someone to go back to the 90s. That
there we go.
Was a great moment. And I fully endorse that move, Johnny, because there's no way Kano should be allowed to procreate, like, ever.
No one has ever earned a dick punch more than Kano has.
The other thing that makes Johnny just perfect for this game is how like, cavalier he is about the time travel elements. Like, throwback me, he calls himself.
I actually found Johnny actually pretty fun to play. If you're looking to get into this game and you're looking to like pick up a character, he's pretty accessible and his strings are pretty easy and he's just pretty fun overall.
Yeah, he looks like a character that's pretty easy to understand the mechanics of.
Yeah,
his stuff just flows into each other as you would expect it to. It's not like some weird juggle character where you're like, how does this work? Well, it just kind of does.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would call him a semi-button masher friendly character, but only in so much as, you know, he's someone you can feel like you're making progress with as a beginner level player. I wouldn't say Mortal Kombat or Injustice are either of them button masher friendly, not in the way say Dead or Alive or Eddie Gordo are.
Eddie Gordo, he's a button masher extraordinaire.
I played Supergirl in Injustice 2, and from what I was told and what I understand, she was kind of like the entry-level character for that game. Like, you played her if you just wanted to pick someone you didn't really know how to play. I only played her because she got the Power Girl ult, and I love me some Power Girl, but yeah.
Oh, Supergirl, right, yeah, I can see that. I'm a big fan of Power Girl, actually, ever since I read the Power Trip graphic novel. So...
Really? I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out.
It's 4 issues from a side series, and then the 12-issue run under a certain creative team that actually managed to make Power Girl good for a while. And then New 52 happened, and she went back to being kind of boring. Oh, well.
She went back to Earth 2, so...
She went back to Earth 2 and became that Supergirl, yeah. But she was boring before that in her run in World's Finest. Not a particularly good
World's Finest Supergirl was terrible. Yeah, sorry, Power Girl was terrible. But they did have, after that, they kind of figured out like a weird buddy comedy kind of thing where they had her teaming up with Harley Quinn a lot, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, Power Girl and Harley Quinn, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was because, like, Amanda Conner was the head writer for that, and the head writer for Harley Quinn. I'm not sure if she still is, but she was at that point in time. And she was the artist for that Power Girl run that I was talking about in the Power Trip novel, too. Okay. So there's a lot of the same spirit that old run had showing through in that. And they even bring back Vartox.
They do, yes.
Who was one of the major characters in that Power Girl run. So it's a blast from the past, and I really like that. I really like that run and the side story that came with it. Ah, man.
This is another one of those confusing times where people just they had the leverage. Okay, so the scene is that Kano had leverage over Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage and whatnot because they had Sonya captured and whatnot. So it's like, okay, you got to do what we say. But also there was the fact that they were surrounded by a bunch of robot ninjas. They didn't really need that leverage. That you already had them over a barrel.
Now they're red shirts,
and then it's like do something about it.
They're red shirts. They'll go down like nothing. Now,
go, Cassie,
you're not Tom Cruise.
It looks like she's like rashly running over the cliff, and Jackie even reacts to that. But she's actually just trying to get close enough to the plane that she could shoot a tracking device on. So, smarter than it looks. That's one of the things I like about Cassie Cage is that she has her father's rashness and some of his tendency toward cheesy quips, but she's also got a lot of the competence that comes from Sonya Blade. So
I gotta say, I kind of like Cassie better in Mortal Kombat 10 than in 11. I like her character model more. I like the actress more, that kind of thing.
I like her design in 11 better than I like her 10 design, but yeah, her actor in 10 was definitely better.
Ryan, show up before people get abducted.
It doesn't. It doesn't help that Cassie doesn't get as much story time in this one as she did in that one. She doesn't really have as much of an arc here, which is unfortunate because we open on a pretty heart-rending scene for her, but it just sort of remains where it is. It gets put on hold by the sudden arrival of past Sonya Blade. And
I love how Scorpion in the scene is just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, Raiden. Thanks.
yeah.
And he just walks out, he's like, great, Americans.
He probably just heard the thunderclap and he's like, Raiden, this is gonna be fun.
Oh shit, here we go again.
There is no safer place for us to get.
My house.
Yeah, please, just come in and do whatever you want. I don't care. It's fine.
You didn't have the courtesy to even call this time.
Yes. Not like you're already here anyway.
Son? No wonder she sent the Black Dragon out. We both kicked his ass.
You know, there is a definite juxtaposition, though, between the modern versions of the characters and the past versions of the characters. The past versions are so colorful and kind of costumey, you know?
They are very costumey, but that's really a deliberate choice, I think.
I know. It makes them look not necessarily exactly like what they did in the 90s, but more like what they did in the 90s. It's like I said, Mortal Kombat 9's aesthetic wasn't really in line with what Mortal Kombat was like before that. This is a lot closer to what Mortal Kombat looked and felt like.
May you return victorious.
So,
Yeah.
it's Shiva. Who...
Yeah, and now things are getting very Game of Thronesy.
Haven't your people failed?
I say that having never seen Game of Thrones, but I'm just assuming this is how it works.
Well, somewhat, sort of. I mean, there are scenes on a throne, but the people on the throne are generally the people who shouldn't be sitting there, so...
Gotcha.
Why are you here?
Sup?
Also, the throne in Game of Thrones is made of melted down swords and stuff, so it's a lot cooler.
Also, I love this scene how she is trying to plead with Shiva. It's like, join me and Kotal Khan, we'll get shit done. Well, Ken just walks in and goes, yeah, Kotal Khan's been captured. Sorry, is this a bad time?
Well, now I know not to align with him if he's that stupid.
It's just look, you couldn't have picked a worse time.
I just want to know how they got the leverage to just walk in like this to her throne room.
Apparently they're friends or something.
And Kitana is still a princess.
There was
I guess.
There was a hand-wavy line by Jade about it, as for why they were sending her. Like, presumably they know.
Well, not so much Kitana. We're talking Liu Kang and Kung Lao.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's bad up. Yeah.
Well, they did come with an escort. It's not like they were allowed to just walk in. But like, we have an urgent message for such and such. We need to see them right away. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Come right in.
I mean, they're two almost unarmed men. I mean, one of them has a hat, but what kind of damage can you do with a hat? You know?
Oh yeah, they're unarmed. They're unarmed. Liu Kang can shoot fireballs from his hands.
I mean, that still means he's unarmed.
Now, I actually thought Jade was going to endure some serious damage here, but Kitana shows up in the nick of time, which is very un-Mortal Kombat-like, I might say. They seem to have been a bit more restrained about doing serious harm to their characters in this one. But they kind of tied their hands behind their backs when they also said, we need to keep the future version alive so that we can have a fight with her later.
Yeah.
Oh, so just to stand up here on this cliff in bright blue, in full view, in broad daylight, and no one's gonna look up and see us. Sure.
Time to spring into action.
I mean, look at you guys. You look like you're getting ready to do a Sentai intro.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Liu Kang always looks like he came out of Surf Ninjas.
And also, Power Rangers for the Battle for the Grid just came out, so it is appropriate. I'm sharpening my bones.
Wolverine is still cooler.
Baraka's a bastard to fight, though. He does that thing that
he's always a bastard to fight.
he does that thing where
Yeah.
he hunches down and shoots spikes all around above him. So he's like the one character who can counter the spam high kicks a lot method to fighting the AI.
Also, this is the part I was talking about where Kung Lao and Liu Kang both dress up as guards, and it just doesn't work at all.
I'd like it if Kung Lao walked in while in the disguise, but like still had his hat on.
That'd be great.
Like, nobody can tell it's me, you still have your hat on, Kung Lao. It's important to me.
This is a really dumb plot, a really dumb scheme, rather, and it's hilarious how quickly Scarlet calls them on it.
All those years, the
That's
She-
what I mean.
she,
It's like she just plays along for a little bit, and she's like, "Nah, fuck it, you guys are idiots."
soldiers have you learned finally that you're no better.
Maybe you should have worn a better mask, Liu Kang.
For Shao Kahn. We demand to see
He's not even trying to hide his voice.
Oh man.
Oh, but how did she see through my disguise?
There are a lot of stupid decisions that get made in stories, but not many stories that acknowledge their stupidity and answer them with consequences appropriate to that. And Mortal Kombat 11 is ironically one of the ones that does that, even though it's a dumb story where you would expect dumb things to work.
Yeah, there is actually a part later on where Kitana's where Liu Kang and Kung Lao are fighting with the Tukans, and Kitana's like, "Stop! Stop fighting!" And they just look at her and go, "No, we're gonna keep fighting."
Nah, they sort of keep defending themselves, so that makes sense. They have to wait until the other side, until the other leader also gives a stop fighting order, and then they all stop.
Yeah,
You know,
they do all stop then, yes.
If
But
they
I do like it just how they kind of just look and just go, yeah, no.
I
We
mean,
kind of need to keep fighting to not die.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they could do that cool Game of Thrones moment where the mountain just takes a knee in the middle of a fight and the sword sails over his head, but you know.
This fight is a little bit disappointing for me because I did play a bit of Katana in Mortal Kombat 10, and I didn't actually go into the moves list because I was trying to do Mortal Kombat 10 combos for Katana, and they don't work. At least the ones that I normally do in Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah, it seems
So
like
there's
NetherRealm plays pretty fast and loose with the way their characters play between sequels. Like, they tend to change up the playstyle a bit more drastically than I would expect. Like, when you play a new Street Fighter game, you can pretty much assume that most of what you used to do as a character in previous entries will still work. It might be fine-tuned, but it will work. And NetherRealm's not quite so consistent.
That is true to a degree. I main Juri in Street Fighter, who is one of those weird characters who is very, very popular as a character, but no one actually plays her.
Yeah.
And as a weird, I think as a result of that, she between 4 and 5, like if you play Ryu between 4 and 5, he is basically the same character. Like there's obviously some minor differences, but he's basically the same character. Whereas Juri between 4 and 5 is a completely different character in every single regard. Like she has virtually nothing intact between versions.
Yeah. Although you could get away with that easier with characters who've only appeared like once. Whereas Ryu is like they took a pretty big risk when they changed up Ken, because he's been there since Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, he's a legacy character.
Yeah, so them significantly changing up his look and moveset was, a ballsy move, and it's one of the few moves they made with Street Fighter 5 at launch that I wholeheartedly approve of.
Yeah, they made him much more... Like, he's always been the more aggressive version of Ryu, but they made him a really aggressive version of Ryu in 5.
Yeah.
And X-rays or Fatal Blows. I do actually like the way that Fatal Blows work in this game, in the sense that you only get one per match, but you can throw it out, and if it whiffs or it gets blocked,
you just have to wait a
get
little
timed
while.
out.
You just have to
you
wait
get
a little
timed
while
out.
and you can try again. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. But when you're playing someone in a real setting, it's such a strategic move of whether to use your fatal blow or save it for the next round.
Yeah.
So I do like that aspect of it. It's not like, any other game like Street Fighter 4 or any other game that has a comeback mechanic like that, where it's like, well, I might as well throw this out now because I'm going to lose it at the start of the next round.
Yeah. They do have a similar strategic element in, say, Dead or Alive, because the meter whatever state your meter is in at the end of the next round is going to be, at the end of one round, is going to be the same at the beginning of the next round. So if you use your break blow and burn your entire meter on it, and then lose that round anyway, well, you've wasted a break blow. You got to fill up your meter again.
Yeah, that is true. But I think the only difference there is that in Dead or Alive, you do build your meter very fast in that game.
Yeah.
So, but it is still a technical decision though, because if you use your break blow, then you can't stop a break combo after that.
Yeah,
you need to use a break hold,
your,
which uses meter as well.
Hold, and the break holds are really goddamn useful.
They're extremely useful. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still trying to do katana combos and they're not working.
I get really nervous when I see Fatal Blow pop up underneath my opponent's health bar, because like they're going to use it, especially the AI.
And even if they use it and you block it,
and it's
even if they use it and they block it, they're going to get it back.
Oh,
juggled.
Yeah, one of the things I actually really missed from Mortal Kombat 10 that's not in 11 is that I do like a lot of the decisions that they made in this game regarding taking out command dashes and the way they broke up the meter. But one of the things that I really liked about 10 was that you could do a neutral jump 2 in the middle of a combo, and this was universal for any character, and you would get a ground bounce off of it to continue your combo, and then you don't have that anymore in 11.
Well, did that particularly benefit certain characters over others, or...?
I don't know if it certainly benefited a lot of characters. I don't know if it benefited every character, because I was never that great at Mortal Kombat 10. But it's just one of the things that was like I just, like I said, I liked it because it was a universal thing that everyone could use to just do neutral jump 2, get a ground bounce, and continue your combo basically.
Gotcha.